Universal truth. Once you master this truth, thoughts of lack disappear. Chapter 1. Understanding Universal Truth Concept. Diving into the domain of universal truth, you'll find that it's a profound concept that requires a deliberate and introspective analysis to fully comprehend its depth and breadth. It's not merely a philosophical notion to be toyed with, it's an intricate framework that molds our perception of reality and influences our actions. Universal truth, in its most distilled form, refers to the immutable laws and principles that govern existence. These truths, regardless of one's belief or disbelief, remain constant and unchanging. They're the bedrock of reality, providing uniformity across time, space, and cultures. You can't alter them, you can only align yourself with them or suffer the consequences of ignorance. Understanding universal truths can be likened to unraveling a complex code. It's a process that demands critical thinking and introspection. You must question your preconceived notions, challenge your beliefs, and seek out wisdom from diverse sources. It's a journey that requires you to confront your cognitive biases and pursue intellectual honesty. This quest for understanding can be intimidating, yet it's worth the effort. Once you grasp these truths, you'll gain a more grounded perspective on life. You'll find clarity amidst confusion, courage amidst fear, and wisdom amidst ignorance. You'll begin to see patterns where you once saw chaos. Chapter 2. The Cycle of Scarcity Explained. In the grand tapestry of universal truths, the cycle of scarcity stands out as a compelling study, offering profound insights into how the perception of scarcity influences human behavior and shapes societal structures. It's a cyclical process that starts with you perceiving a lack of something, be it physical resources, love, time, or any other perceived need. This perception then influences your actions and decisions, often leading to behaviors that ironically perpetuate the very lack you're trying to avoid. Consider, for instance, the scarcity of money. You might cut down on your expenses, work extra hours, or take on a second job. While these strategies might help in the short term, they can lead to burnout, stress, and a diminished quality of life in the long run. In addition, your focus on what's lacking can blind you to opportunities for growth and abundance. The cycle continues as your actions based on scarcity, in turn, reinforce your perception of lack. You're caught in a loop, forever chasing after what you believe you don't have enough of. This cycle not only affects individuals but also pervades societies, leading to economic disparity, resource wars, and a general sense of dissatisfaction. Understanding the cycle of scarcity is crucial because it helps you recognize how your perceptions of lack influence your life. It's a step towards unraveling the complex web of universal truths, bringing you closer to the realization that scarcity, much like abundance, is often a matter of perception. Chapter 3. Breaking Free from Limitations. Unshackling yourself from the chains of limitations requires a purposeful change in mindset, an essential shift from scarcity to abundance thinking. The human mind, often mired in limitations, constructs barriers, both real and perceived. These barriers, over time, become the walls of a mental prison, confining you to a limited sphere of existence. To break free, you must first acknowledge these self-imposed limitations. Understanding the nature of these limitations is critical. Are they based on past failures, fear of the unknown, or a deeply ingrained belief that you're not enough? Identifying these limiting beliefs is the first step towards liberation. Once identified, question their validity. Are they truly reflective of your potential or merely a distorted lens through which you've been viewing yourself? You'll often find that these limitations aren't grounded in reality, but rather in fear and insecurity. Then, challenge and replace these limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Visualize a life without these restrictions. Imagine what you could achieve if these barriers didn't exist. This mental exercise helps to create a new narrative, a narrative of possibilities and potential, as opposed to one of limitations and scarcity. Chapter 4. Discovering Inner Abundance. Beyond the confines of self-imposed limitations, there lies a domain of inner abundance, a wealth of potential that's waiting to be discovered. You've been conditioned to view abundance in purely material terms. However, it's vital to understand that the true essence of abundance isn't limited to physical possessions. It's a deep-rooted sense of fulfillment that transcends the spiritual sphere, a state of being where you're at peace with the present and optimistic about the future. You've often heard it said, "You're a human being, not a human doing." This sentiment reflects the understanding that your worth isn't defined by what you do or have, but by who you are. Recognizing the innate richness of your existence, you can tap into this inner abundance that's always been a part of you. So how do you go about discovering inner abundance? Start by acknowledging your gifts and talents. You're unique, and there's no one else out there quite like you. Your ability to think, to love, to learn, to create, to explore, these are all invaluable aspects of you that are priceless. Moreover, cultivating gratitude for what you have, rather than focusing on what you lack, will bring about a shift in perspective. You'll be more open to receive, to give, and to grow. You'll find that your world is abundant, not because of the things you have, but because of the richness of your being. Discovering inner abundance is about realizing that you're more than enough, right here, right now. Chapter 5. Shifting your mindset quickly. Your mind's ability to shift quickly is a powerful tool, one that can dramatically alter your perception of reality and tap your potential. This isn't an abstract concept, but a tangible, cognitive ability rooted in neuroscience and psychology. It's a skill you can hone, allowing you to perceive the world through a lens of abundance rather than scarcity. Consider the idea of cognitive reframing, a technique used in many therapeutic contexts. This involves identifying and then disputing irrational or maladaptive thoughts. Reframing is fundamentally a form of mental agility and can be used to shift your mindset swiftly and effectively. So, how can you initiate this shift? Begin by observing your thoughts without judgment. Notice when you're caught in negative or limiting thought patterns. Once you've acknowledged these, you've taken the first step towards shifting your mindset. Next, challenge those thoughts. Ask yourself if they're truly serving you, or if they're merely perpetuating a sense of lack. If it's the latter, consciously choose to adopt a different perspective. This may feel uncomfortable at first, but remember, discomfort often precedes growth. Finally, replace your limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Affirmations can be an effective tool for this. Repeatedly telling yourself that you live in a universe of abundance, for example, can eventually rewire your brain to truly believe it. Shifting your mindset quickly isn't an overnight process, but with practice, it becomes easier. And once you master this skill, you'll find that thoughts of lack tend to disappear, replaced by a sense of unlimited potential. Chapter 6. Recognizing patterns of lack. In the labyrinth of your thoughts, you might often stumble upon patterns of lack, recurring notions of scarcity, inadequacy, or insufficiency. These thoughts, like whispering shadows, subtly infiltrate your subconscious, shaping your perception of reality. They're insidious, often going unnoticed until they've woven themselves into the very fabric of your belief system. Recognizing these patterns of lack is vital. They're not just fleeting thoughts, they're deeply ingrained tendencies that can perpetuate a cycle of deficiency in your life. They're the silent saboteurs of your success, the unseen enemies of your abundance. Yet, their subtlety doesn't diminish their impact. In many ways, it amplifies it. It's the quiet, persistent drip of water that eventually wears away the stone. Recognition is the first step towards transformation. You must identify these patterns, bringing them from the shadowy recesses of your subconscious into the light of your conscious mind. Once illuminated, you can begin to understand their origins, their triggers, and their influence over your life. Start by observing your thoughts, emotions, and reactions. Are there recurring themes of scarcity or inadequacy? Do you find yourself frequently feeling insufficient or lacking in some way? These are your patterns of lack, surfacing in response to certain stimuli or situations. Recognizing these patterns isn't about assigning blame or dwelling on negativity. It's about understanding the landscape of your inner world, identifying the obstacles that stand in your way, and gaining the knowledge necessary to navigate towards a life of abundance. This recognition is a tool of empowerment, a beacon guiding you towards the universal truth of your inherent worth and potential. Chapter 7. Overcoming Fear and Doubt. How can you conquer the intimidating mountains of fear and doubt that often stand in your path to realizing your true potential? The first step is to acknowledge their existence. You can't combat fear and doubt if you don't accept that they're there. They're not signs of weakness, but indicators of growth. Next, you need to dissect these feelings. What's causing you to fear? What's generating doubt? Often you'll find that fear stems from a perceived lack of control, and doubt arises from uncertainty. Understanding their root causes can help in formulating a strategy to overcome them. Thirdly, equip yourself with knowledge. Fear and doubt thrive in the absence of information. When you're adequately informed, you'll be better prepared to face challenges head-on. Now, it's time for action. Confront your fears and doubts. Don't let them paralyze you. Instead, use them as a catalyst for change. Remember, the only way to overcome fear is to face it, and the only way to dispel doubt is to take action. Finally, be patient with yourself. Overcoming fear and doubt won't happen overnight. It's a process that requires time, effort, and resilience. But rest assured, every step you take towards overcoming fear and doubt brings you closer to realizing your true potential. In this journey, it's crucial to maintain a positive outlook and cultivate a growth mindset. Understand that fear and doubt aren't permanent. They're merely temporary obstacles on your path to success. Chapter 8. Embracing Gratitude Practices. Once you've begun to overcome fear and doubt, embracing gratitude practices can serve as a powerful tool in your journey towards understanding universal truth. Gratitude, fundamentally, signifies a profound appreciation for the abundance present in your life, irrespective of its form or condition. This recognition of abundance, in turn, reflects a fundamental truth of the universe, the inherent plenitude and generosity of existence. Incorporating gratitude into your daily routine isn't merely a form of positive affirmation. It's an essential shift in your perception, a reorientation towards the world that emphasizes the richness of your experiences rather than their deficiencies. It's a transformative practice that, when integrated consistently, can profoundly alter your relationship with the world and your place within it. When you cultivate gratitude, you move away from a mindset of scarcity, where you're constantly seeking more, to a mindset of abundance, where you recognize the wealth that already surrounds you. This shift can lead to a deeper understanding of universal truth, as it aligns you with the fundamental principle of abundance that underlies the universe. What's the practical application of gratitude? It's as simple as regularly acknowledging what you're thankful for, whether it's a person, an experience, or a simple joy. It's about developing a gratitude consciousness, one that sees the world not as a place of lack, but as a domain teeming with abundance. And remember, gratitude isn't about ignoring life's hardships. It's about recognizing that even in the midst of adversity, there's always something to be grateful for. This is an essential step towards understanding and embodying the universal truth. Chapter 9. Cultivating Self-Love Habits. While gratitude opens your heart to the abundance of the universe, cultivating self-love habits sets the foundation for accepting yourself unconditionally, a critical step towards comprehending universal truth. In this journey towards self-discovery, you'll find that self-love isn't an act of conceit, but a profound acceptance of your strengths, weaknesses, and everything in between. Self-love is the soil in which the seeds of your potential blossom. It's by recognizing your worth that you release the potential to align with the universal truth. But how do you cultivate self-love? The first step is mindful self-awareness. This means observing your thoughts, feelings, and actions without judgment. You'll find that behind the veil of self-criticism, you're a complex, evolving being deserving of love and compassion. Self-awareness illuminates the shadows of self-doubt, empowering you to nurture a healthier relationship with yourself. Next, practice self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself when you falter. Understand that failure isn't a reflection of your worth, but a stepping stone towards growth. Furthermore, celebrate your victories, no matter how small. They're an attestation to your resilience and capability. Finally, set boundaries that respect your emotional, physical, and mental health. Realize it's okay to say no to things that deplete you. By doing so, you affirm your self-worth, creating a space where you can thrive. Chapter 10. Aligning with higher purpose. After nurturing a profound sense of self-love, you're now primed to align with your higher purpose, an integral beacon guiding you towards the universal truth. This alignment isn't about conforming to an outside mold, rather, it's about recognizing your unique qualities and leveraging them for the greater good. You might wonder, how do you find this higher purpose? The answer lies within you. It's a matter of introspection, of delving deep into your passions and values. Ask yourself what drives you, what makes you feel alive. The answers constitute the compass that points towards your higher purpose. Aligning with this purpose requires courage and commitment. It's not an easy path, but it's one that leads to fulfillment and growth. You'll face challenges, doubts, and even setbacks, but remember, these are merely stepping stones on your journey. They aren't roadblocks, they're opportunities for learning and strengthening your resolve. Embracing your higher purpose isn't a one-time event, it's a continuous process. It's about living your values every day, making decisions that reflect your purpose, and embracing opportunities that facilitate your growth. It involves constant learning, reflecting, and evolving. Once you're aligned with your higher purpose, you'll notice a shift. You'll see life from a broader perspective, one that transcends personal desires and focuses on the collective good. You'll feel a sense of fulfillment and contentment that stems from living a life that's in sync with your true self. And most importantly, you'll move closer to understanding the universal truth, a truth that dispels thoughts of lack and fosters abundance. Chapter 11. The power of positive affirmations. Harnessing the power of positive affirmations can remarkably propel you towards the realization of your higher purpose and the understanding of universal truth. These affirmations aren't just feel-good quotes or motivational sayings, they're powerful statements that can reprogram your subconscious mind, leading to transformative shifts in your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. Positive affirmations work on the basis of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself in response to experience. When you constantly repeat a positive affirmation, you're fundamentally training your brain to believe it. This practice, over time, creates a new mental pathway, replacing negative thought patterns with positive ones. So what you're doing isn't just reciting words, you're crafting a new reality for yourself. But it's not just about saying it, it's about truly believing it. The effectiveness of positive affirmations lies in your level of conviction. If you declare, "I am capable and strong," but deep down harbor doubts, the affirmation loses its potency. Authenticity is key. You've got to feel it in your bones. Using positive affirmations is like planting seeds in a garden. The more time and care you invest, the more abundant the harvest. It's a process of nurturing, of patiently tending to your inner landscape. This practice isn't a quick fix, but a lifelong commitment to personal growth and the pursuit of universal truth. In substance, the power of positive affirmations lies in their ability to shape your reality, align your thoughts with your desires, and bring you closer to the understanding of the universal truth. Chapter 12. Letting go of negative thoughts. Often you may find yourself entangled in a web of negative thoughts, which, if left unchecked, can obstruct your path towards understanding the universal truth. This negativity isn't merely an inconvenience, it's a formidable barrier that hinders your progress in comprehending, internalizing, and living the truth. The first step to untangling this web is acknowledging its presence. You can't change what you don't recognize, so identify these negative patterns and confront them. It's not about suppression or denial, it's about awareness and acceptance. Next, it's vital to understand that thoughts, positive or negative, aren't you. This realization helps you detach yourself from them, viewing them objectively as transient mental events. You're the observer, not the thought itself. Now, let's discuss replacing negativity. It isn't enough to merely discard negative thoughts, you must replace them with positive ones. However, don't mistake this for naive optimism. It's about realistic positivity, recognizing both the roses and the thorns, yet choosing to focus on the roses. Chapter 13. Embracing forgiveness process. Why not consider embracing the process of forgiveness as a significant step on your journey to understanding universal truth? You've probably heard the phrase forgive and forget, but it's not just a cliché. It's a potent concept with profound implications on your perception of reality, your relationships, and your overall well-being. Forgiveness, in its purest form, is a conscious decision to let go of resentment and thoughts of revenge. It's not about condoning or forgetting the wrong that was done to you, but about freeing yourself from the corrosive effects of harboring grudges. When you forgive, you're not doing it for the other person, you're doing it for yourself. Yet forgiveness can be a challenging process. It's not a one-time act, but a continuous journey of self-discovery and growth. It requires an honest look at your feelings, a genuine willingness to empathize with the other person, and a strong commitment to moving past the pain. However, the rewards of forgiveness are immense. It can lead to better mental and physical health, more fulfilling relationships, and a greater sense of peace and happiness. Most importantly, it aligns you with the universal truth of interconnectedness, teaching you to see beyond individual actions and understand the deep, underlying unity of all beings. And Chapter 14. Unlocking personal growth potential. As you continue to embrace forgiveness and align with the universal truth of interconnectedness, you naturally pave the way for tapping into your personal growth potential. This alignment opens up a reservoir of untapped potential within you, allowing for a surge of creativity, innovation, and personal development. This isn't a lofty ideal, it's an attainable reality. It's vital to understand that personal growth isn't a linear process. It's a cycle of expansion and contraction, learning and unlearning. When you embrace this, you'll find that your perception of failure shifts. What you once saw as setbacks, you'll now witness as critical stepping stones towards your growth. To release your growth potential, you need to cultivate a curious mindset. This involves questioning your beliefs, assumptions, and preconceived notions. It requires a willingness to venture into the unknown, to learn, and to grow. It's a journey that demands courage, but the rewards are invaluable. Your thoughts have a profound impact on your potential. By harnessing the power of positive thinking, you can overcome limiting beliefs that hinder your growth. Remember, your thoughts create your reality. When you align your thoughts with the universal truth, it's like turning a key, opening up doors to infinite possibilities. Chapter 15. Creating a supportive environment. Creating a supportive environment is pivotal in your journey towards uncovering universal truth and achieving personal growth. You're not an island, isolated from the world's influences. Your environment, be it physical or social, shapes your perspective and your understanding. It aids in the cultivation of your mindset and attitudes. The physical environment, your surroundings, plays a vital role. Imagine a tranquil setting, a place where you can reflect without interruptions. It's an oasis of peace, fostering introspection and mental clarity. Thus, aim to create a space that embodies tranquility and fosters mental focus. Secondly, consider your social environment. The people you interact with daily can either foster or hinder your progress. You're often the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It's not to say you should abandon your current circle. Instead, consciously cultivate relationships that inspire growth, challenge your beliefs, and encourage exploration of universal truths. Finally, your digital environment is also paramount. In today's hyper-connected world, what you consume online profoundly influences your perspectives. Actively curate your digital space, follow thought leaders, consume content that inspires and educates, and limit exposure to negativity. In essence, creating a supportive environment isn't about crafting a perfect setting, but one that nurtures growth, exploration, and understanding. It's about curating spaces and relationships that inspire positive change and facilitate the discovery of universal truths. Once you've established this, you'll find that thoughts of lack and limitation begin to dissipate, replaced by abundance and possibilities. Chapter 16. Navigating life's challenges successfully. Life's challenges, those unavoidable trials and tribulations, can often serve as the most potent teachers in your quest to understand universal truths. They're not simply obstacles standing between you and your goals, but opportunities for growth, transformation, and self-discovery. Remember, it's not the challenge itself that determines your growth, but how you react to it. The first step towards traversing life's challenges successfully is to recognize them not as hindrances, but as catalysts for personal enhancement. This shift in perspective is powerful, as it allows you to approach each trial with a sense of curiosity and openness, rather than fear and resistance. You'll find that this attitude not only makes the experience more manageable, but it also facilitates a deeper understanding of the universal truths at play. Next, it's crucial to maintain a state of mindfulness throughout these challenging periods. This means being fully present, aware of your thoughts, feelings, and actions, and accepting them without judgment. Through mindfulness, you can gain insights into your patterns of behavior and thought, and how they influence your responses to life's challenges. Finally, remember this: you aren't alone in your journey. You're part of an interconnected universe, and your struggles, as personal as they may feel, are shared experiences. They mirror the collective human experience, and consequently, they're integral in your understanding of universal truth. In essence, traversing life's challenges successfully lies in your ability to view them as opportunities, maintain mindfulness, and recognize your connection to the universe. Chapter 17. Building Resilience Strategies. Building on the lessons learned from life's challenges, you must now consider the development of resilience strategies, key tools in your journey towards a deeper understanding of universal truth. Resilience is the ability to recover from setbacks, adapt well to change, and keep going in the face of adversity. It's not just a personality trait that some people are born with. It can be learned and developed. To build resilience, you've to engage with your environment positively and proactively. It's about fostering supportive relationships, managing strong feelings and impulses, maintaining a positive view of yourself, and accepting that change is a part of life. Consider the concept of cognitive reappraisal, an emotional regulation strategy that involves changing the trajectory of an emotional response by reinterpreting the meaning of the emotional stimulus. It's like looking at a situation through a different lens. When you're faced with setbacks, instead of seeing them as insurmountable problems, you can view them as opportunities for growth. Recognize that resilience isn't about sailing smoothly through life's challenges. It's about learning to ride the waves. You'll face storms, but they don't have to sink you. They can strengthen you, especially when you understand that suffering isn't a barrier to joy, but a pathway to it. Lastly, remember that resilience is a journey, not a destination. You'll not reach a point where you're immune to life's challenges, but with resilient strategies, you'll be better equipped to navigate them, bringing you closer to understanding the universal truth. Chapter 18. Trusting the universe's plan. Amid life's turmoil and uncertainty, trusting in the universe's plan emerges as a pivotal step towards grasping the universal truth. This trust isn't blind faith, rather. It's an understanding that the universe, in its infinite wisdom, has a way of aligning circumstances in our favor, even when it's not immediately apparent. Let's dissect this. First off, trusting the universe isn't about abdicating responsibility for your actions. It's about realizing that despite your best efforts, there are things beyond your control. It's about accepting that the universe, in its infinite complexity, has a bigger picture that you're all part of, even if you can't see it. It's about letting go of the need to know or control everything, and instead, learning to flow with life's rhythms. Secondly, trusting the universe's plan involves recognizing that everything happens for a reason. Each event, no matter how seemingly insignificant or unpleasant, has a purpose. It's a piece of the puzzle that's your life. It's a stepping stone towards your growth and evolution. Lastly, trust is fundamentally about optimism. It's about believing that despite the challenges, the setbacks, the disappointments, the universe is ultimately on your side. It's about knowing that every experience is an opportunity for growth, every hurdle a chance to build resilience, every setback a setup for a comeback. In the grand scheme of things, trusting the universe's plan is a journey towards understanding the universal truth, a journey that requires patience, courage, and most importantly, trust. Chapter 19. Mastering mindfulness techniques. As you cultivate trust in the universe's plan, mindfulness techniques emerge as a powerful tool to enhance this awareness, fostering greater connection with the world around you and the ever-unfolding universal truth. These techniques, rooted in ancient wisdom but validated by modern science, provide a pathway towards a deeper understanding of your own mind. You're not just passively observing your thoughts, but actively engaging with them, decoding their underlying messages and aligning them with the universal truth. Understanding mindfulness techniques requires a willingness to explore into the complex landscape of the mind. The first step is to practice being present in this very moment, fully experiencing whatever arises without judgment. It sounds simple, doesn't it? Yet it's a profound shift from our habitual patterns of rumination and distraction. By staying present, you're able to observe your thoughts without getting entangled in them. This disentanglement grants you the freedom to choose how you respond rather than react. Next, cultivate an attitude of openness and curiosity towards your experiences. Instead of clinging to or resisting what arises, you're encouraged to welcome it all, the pleasant and the unpleasant, with equanimity. This acceptance isn't a form of resignation, but a profound understanding that everything is part of the universal flow. Lastly, engage in regular mindfulness meditation. This practice isn't about achieving a certain state, but about being with whatever is, moment by moment. It's a journey of self-discovery, of peeling back layers of conditioning to reveal the universal truth within you. As you master these techniques, you'll find your thoughts of lack fading away, replaced by a deep sense of abundance and connection. Chapter 20. Finding inner peace techniques. In pursuit of the universal truth, you'll find that mastering techniques to find inner peace serves as a crucial stepping stone, acting as a conduit to deeper understanding and connection. This journey isn't merely about tranquility and solitude, but anchoring peace within the dynamism of life's ebb and flow. Inner peace techniques aren't mystical practices reserved for ascetics. They're practical, tangible tools you can harness in your everyday life. Silence, for instance, isn't just the absence of noise. It's a tool to listen to your inner self, to tune out the cacophony of external pressures and tune into your core. Similarly, decluttering isn't just about organizing things around you, it's about removing mental clutter, creating room for serenity. Meditation is another powerful technique. It's not about emptying your mind, but about observing your thoughts without judgment, letting them pass like clouds. You'll find that this non-judgmental observation creates a distance between you and your thoughts, helping you realize they don't define you. Lastly, practicing gratitude can pivot your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant in your life. This shift in perspective can profoundly impact your inner peace, as it aligns you with the universal truth of abundance over scarcity. Chapter 21. Balancing mind, body, spirit. Striking a balance between your mind, body, and spirit is a fundamental step toward comprehending the universal truth, requiring you to align these three aspects harmoniously for ideal well-being and enlightenment. This equilibrium, however, doesn't just happen. It's a purposeful effort that demands introspection, awareness, and commitment. Let's unpack this seemingly abstract concept. To guarantee your mind, body, and spirit work in unison, you must first understand their independent roles. Your mind, the seat of thought and emotion, can be a powerful ally or a formidable foe, depending on how you steer it. The body, your tangible vessel, requires physical care and sustenance to function at its peak. Your spirit, the intangible essence of your being, seeks to connect with something greater than itself, often finding solace in faith, compassion, and love. Balancing these elements isn't about achieving perfection, but rather nurturing a sense of harmony. It's about acknowledging the interconnectivity of these three aspects and the ripple effects an imbalance can trigger. If you neglect your physical well-being, it can cloud your mental clarity. If your spirit feels depleted, it can manifest in physical ailments or mental distress. To balance your mind, body, and spirit, you'll need to practice mindfulness, engage in regular physical activity, and cultivate a strong spiritual practice. These practices, when integrated into your daily routine, can bring about a holistic sense of well-being. Remember, this balance isn't a destination but a journey, one that will lead you closer to the universal truth. Chapter 22. Nurturing a growth mindset. Shifting your perspective to nurture a growth mindset can be a transformative step on your journey toward understanding universal truth. This mental shift isn't a superficial change, it's a fundamental reworking of how you see yourself and your place in the world. It's a move from a limiting belief system that confines you to fixed roles and capabilities to an empowering vision of constant learning and evolution. The growth mindset, a term coined by psychologist Carol Dweck, is predicated on the belief that intelligence and abilities aren't fixed, but can be developed. It's not about being smart or talented. It's about believing in your capacity to learn, improve, and overcome challenges. When you adopt a growth mindset, you're not deterred by setbacks. You see them as opportunities for learning and improvement. Nurturing a growth mindset requires an intentional shift in your thoughts and actions. It's about replacing self-doubt with self-confidence, fear with courage, and stagnation with progress. It requires you to challenge your assumptions, question your beliefs, and open yourself up to new possibilities. It's vital to remember that adopting a growth mindset isn't a quick fix. It's a lifelong journey of self-discovery and personal development. But once you embrace this mindset, you'll find that thoughts of lack begin to disappear. You'll stop seeing the world from the perspective of scarcity and start seeing it from the perspective of abundance. You'll realize that there's enough for everyone, and that you have the power to create the life you want. This is the universal truth that lies at the heart of a growth mindset. Chapter 23. Celebrating Small Wins Daily. As you cultivate a growth mindset, integrating the practice of celebrating small wins daily becomes a powerful tool for reinforcing this paradigm shift. Often we're so focused on the end goal that we overlook the tiny victories that lead us there. By doing so, we're neglecting a valuable source of motivation, self-efficacy, and satisfaction. Small wins are the incremental achievements that pave the way to larger victories. They're the stepping stones that bridge the gap between where you're and where you aspire to be. They're the proof that you're making progress, no matter how slow or insignificant it may seem. In the context of the universal truth, this practice isn't just about self-gratification or feeding your ego. It's about acknowledging your capacity to affect change and influence outcomes. It's about recognizing your personal growth and how you're evolving as a human being. Every small win is an endorsement of your potential, a validation of your efforts. It's a reminder that you're capable of more than you think. By celebrating these wins, you're reinforcing positive behaviors and strengthening your belief in your abilities. The impact of this practice extends beyond the personal level. It can also transform your relationships, your work, your health, and your overall well-being. It's a powerful tool for personal transformation, one that aligns perfectly with the principles of the universal truth. Chapter 24. Practicing Self-Reflection Exercises. As you journey through the domain of universal truth, it's vital to practice self-reflection exercises. Understanding the essence of self-reflection is akin to holding a mirror to your inner world, recognizing patterns and challenging your own beliefs. Dive deep into the domain of self-reflection, a practice that empowers you to critically analyze your thoughts, emotions, and actions, fostering a greater understanding of your own identity and the universal truths that govern it. This introspective journey isn't merely about self-analysis, but also serves as a tool for expanding your consciousness. It can facilitate the emergence of profound insights about you and your place in the grand scheme of things. The act of self-reflection isn't always comfortable. It requires courage to confront your innermost thoughts and feelings. However, it's this raw honesty that can bring about transformative change. By scrutinizing your beliefs, you start to uncover the underlying biases and misconceptions that shape your perception. This process can be a revelation, allowing you to recognize and discard limiting beliefs that obstruct your path to understanding universal truths. While self-reflection might seem intimidating, implementing regular reflection exercises can demystify the process and lead to profound personal growth and understanding. You might wonder, how do I begin? Well, it's simpler than you think. Start by setting aside a few minutes each day in a quiet space, free from distractions. This time is solely for you, no judgments, no expectations. Choose a focal point for your reflection. It could be events or feelings from the day, or perhaps a specific aspect of the universal truth you're studying. Ask yourself probing questions. What did I learn? How does this align with my understanding of the universal truth? How could I act differently next time? These questions aren't meant to criticize, but to illuminate your path and guide your growth. Chapter 25. Sustaining long-term progress. In your journey through universal truths, it's not enough to merely identify and understand these truths. You must also endeavor to sustain long-term progress. How can you establish consistent growth, and what strategies help to overcome progress plateaus? Let's explore these critical questions as we navigate the path of continuous development and truth discovery. Fostering consistent growth, an essential element in your journey towards understanding universal truth, requires a dedicated, long-term commitment to progress, irrespective of the pace. This isn't merely about advancement, it's about internalizing the essence of consistency. Imagine yourself as a gardener nurturing a seedling. You water it, provide sunlight, and guarantee the soil is nutrient-rich. But it's the consistency of your efforts that truly matters. A plant can't survive if it's only watered or given sunlight sporadically. It thrives on regularity, on consistency. Similarly, your understanding of universal truth won't grow if you sporadically dedicate time and effort to it. A daily commitment is key, even if it's just a few moments of reflection or study. Don't let the size or complexity of the task deter you. It's not about how much you do, but rather how consistently you do it. Just as you've established a rhythm in your journey towards the universal truth, you may encounter progress plateaus where it seems like you're stuck in a rut, making no significant advancement. Don't be disheartened. It's a natural part of the process and, more importantly, an opportunity for reflection and adjustment. Consider these plateaus as moments of consolidation, where the truths you've absorbed need time to settle. They're not roadblocks, but rest stops, allowing you to reassess and recalibrate your approach. Remember, the journey to universal truth isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. To overcome this, you need to shake up your routine. Don't be afraid to question your methods and challenge your assumptions. Maybe there's a different perspective you haven't considered, or perhaps a deep-rooted belief you've held is hindering your progress. Be open to change. Ultimately, overcoming progress plateaus involves a balance of patience, introspection, and adaptability. A plateau isn't a failure, it's an invitation to deepen your understanding. So take a breath, reassess, and when you're ready, continue with renewed vigor and a refined approach. In the grand tapestry of life, you're not a mere thread, but the weaver. Embrace this universal truth and watch scarcity fade into a forgotten echo. By dismantling limitations, cultivating inner abundance, and nurturing a growth mindset, you've set out on a transformative journey. Always remember, each day offers a fresh canvas. Don't just survive, thrive. Validate your progress, however small, and practice self-reflection. You're not just moving forward, you're forging a new path to sustained enlightenment. Thanks for listening to or reading this from Audiobooks Office.